Hello BBN, Cal wants to bring Kinney to Arkansas. What do you mean strange? No one imagined this. But, let's get to the news. First, subscribe to the channel to receive more Kentucky news. The battle for Jaylen Kinney, one of the most promising point guards in the 2026 class, is turning into a real spectacle, with a visit to Arkansas supposedly scheduled for September 26 to 28. Does the young talent put John Calipari and his new team, the Razorbacks, in a prominent position in the race for his signature? I don't know if that's true. However, the Kentucky factor cannot be ignored, especially with Mark Pope demonstrating an impressive ability to attract elite players to Lexington. Kinney, who has already taken official visits to Louisville, Purdue, and Kentucky, has kept his decision-making process open, without giving any clear clues about his preferences. In addition to Arkansas, he also plans to visit Texas, Indiana, and Oregon in the coming months, creating an atmosphere of suspense and anticipation in the high school basketball world. His statement that Calipari's track record speaks for itself. To the impressive list of point guards the coach has sent to the NBA, reveals the influence the coach still wields, even after his departure from Kentucky. However, Mark Pope's constant presence at key games, such as the Adidas 3 SSB Championship in Rock Hill, South Carolina, shows that the current Wildcats coach is unwilling to give up such a coveted talent without a fierce fight. Kinney's case is emblematic of the strategic game involved in college basketball recruiting. The player's final selection, expected before the start of the 2025-26 overtime elite season, the league in which he will play as a senior, will be determined by a combination of factors beyond sports brands or pre-existing connections. While Kinney has ties to Adidas through his AAU team, the Wildcats selectee has made it clear that this will not necessarily lead to a university associated with the brand. The fact that both Kentucky and Arkansas are aligned with Nike adds another layer of complexity to the process, eliminating any automatic advantage in this regard. Calipari, known for his ability to attract and develop high-level point guards, appears to be using the full weight of his reputation to win Kinney over. During his time at Kentucky, the coach had already established a relationship with the player, something that has now extended to Fayetteville. This continuity is a plus for the Razorbacks, but Mark Pope's work at Kentucky cannot be underestimated. Since taking over the Wildcats, Pope has demonstrated a remarkable ability to reconnect the program with the roots that have always defined it: excellence, tradition, and a keen eye for talent like this recruit. The current landscape places Kinney at a fascinating crossroads. On one hand, there's the legacy of Calipari, whose experience and success in transitioning players to the NBA are undeniable. On the other, there's Kentucky's renaissance under Pope, who has worked tirelessly to ensure the program remains a national powerhouse. The point guard's final decision won't simply be about which university offers better facilities or exposure, but rather about where he believes he can maximize his potential while building a solid foundation for his professional career. Meanwhile, other programs like Kansas, Texas, and Indiana remain in the running, each trying to find ways to stand out in a highly competitive market. However, it's impossible to ignore the weight that Kentucky and Arkansas carry in this story. For Kinney, the choice will be a reflection of his values, aspirations, and vision for the future. And for college basketball fans, this battle between two giants of the sport represented by iconic coaches like Calipari and Pope is yet another example of how recruiting remains an art full of nuances, strategies, and twists and turns. So far, everything indicates that this will be one of the most talked about decisions of the upcoming season, with significant implications for the future of both programs. What do you think? At the end of the video, I'd love to hear your commentary. The Wildcats are interested in recruit Cam Williams. Would he be a great fit for the Wildcats? Ranked as the 16th best rising high school prospect in the country by On3, the Arizona native emerges as a promising prospect for the Wildcats' future. The program's recent move toward Williams, as reported by KSR during the Adidas 3 SSB Championship in Rock Hill, South Carolina, signals not only Pope's keen eye for elite talent but also his unique approach. The connection between Kentucky and Williams is gaining traction, and what makes this news particularly exciting is the way Pope and his staff are building that relationship. In a recent FaceTime conversation, the Wildcats head coach demonstrated his signature style: close, genuine, and focused on creating personal connections. Williams emphasized the quality of this conversation, in which Pope sought to get to know him better, understand his family, and share his vision of what Kentucky basketball represents. This approach isn't just a detail, it's a reflection of Pope's philosophy, which combines tactical intensity with a unique ability to connect with young athletes who can make a difference in their teams. While Kentucky hasn't yet formally offered Williams the only university he believes hasn't, the interest is evident and growing. Since May, when assistant coach Jason Hart began connecting with the player, his coaches, and his family during the second 3 SSB session in Iowa, the program has been proactive. Hart, known for his ability to cultivate relationships in recruiting, opened the door for this approach, while Pope reinforced the interest by closely following Williams' performances in Rock Hill. The coach's presence on the sideline, Watching the power forward shine for the Compton Magic alongside another coveted prospect Bruce Branch III is a clear sign that Kentucky is investing time and energy in winning the player. For Williams, this attention means a lot. A lot of coaches are here for me, but the most important thing for me is communication, and they're starting to understand that, said the athlete, highlighting the importance of the ongoing dialogue that the Kentucky staff has prioritized. Williams, who has already attracted interest from powerhouses like Purdue, Texas, Duke, and Arizona, all with official visits scheduled for the coming months, demonstrates a profile that aligns with the high standard of Kentucky basketball. His decision to push the recruiting process into the spring, after his senior season, gives the Wildcats time to further strengthen that relationship, possibly culminating in a visit to Lexington, which, while not yet scheduled, has already been mentioned in conversations with the staff. What makes this pursuit of Williams so exciting is the larger context of Mark Pope's project. Since taking the helm, the coach has worked tirelessly to rebuild Kentucky as a powerhouse that not only competes, but also inspires. His ability to attract talent like Williams, even in a competitive landscape with programs of the caliber of Duke and Arizona, highlights the strength of the Kentucky brand and the confidence Pope inspires. As Williams weighs his options, with USC and UNC also on his radar, the possibility of seeing him in the blue and white could be a real possibility. Jaylen Low projected to make a quick impact. What do you mean? Let's see. As highlighted by ESPN's Jeff Borzello, he's projected to be the most impactful player on the roster for 2023-24. Low arrives with the responsibility of helping solidify the ambitious project led by coach Mark Pope, with a combination of college experience and skills honed during his 2 seasons with Pittsburgh. The point guard is seen as a key player for this team. Low's immediate impact in Lexington will not only be a result of his individual talent, but also his ability to adapt to the dynamic system implemented by Pope. The transition to Kentucky marks a new chapter in the career of the young player, who faced significant challenges at Pitt, including playing much of his senior year with a broken finger. However, even in the face of these adversities, he proved to be one of the most versatile players in the ACC, finishing last season with impressive averages of 16.8 points and 5.5 assists per game. This duality between playmaker and scorer makes Low a valuable weapon for the Wildcats, especially on a roster brimming with talent. One of the main reasons for the optimism surrounding Low is the depth of Kentucky's roster this season, with players like Denzel Aberdeen, Otega Owe, and Jaden Quainton-Salater still facing uncertainty about his availability after suffering a torn ACL. The Wildcats have a balanced group that can alleviate pressure on any individual player. This will allow Low to find his place within the offensive structure without having to carry the entire team's weight on his shoulders, something he required during his time at Pitt. While Low's shooting statistics as a sophomore, 37.6% from the field and 26.6% from 3, may raise some concerns, the situation at Kentucky is very different. Playing alongside a number of reliable shooters, and within a system that maximizes floor space, the point guard is expected to improve his efficiency. Furthermore, his main strength has always been his vision and ability to distribute the ball, traits that should flourish even more on a team brimming with offensive options. Another crucial point highlighted by Borzello is the Wildcats' anticipated starting 5 for next season. With Low occupying the starting point guard position, he will be surrounded by complementary pieces that promise to form a cohesive unit. Denzel Aberdeen, known for his defensive energy and athleticism, should assume an important role on the perimeter, while Otega Owe will add physical strength and versatility on the wing. At center, Mo Diobate offers defensive presence and finishing near the basket, creating a solid foundation for the paint. If he returns in time, Jaden Quaintons could provide an additional boost as a sixth man, or even earn starting minutes, depending on his recovery. With a guy like Low leading the way, there is a sense of renewal and optimism in Lexington, something Wildcats fans hope to see from this team. And if projections are correct, Jaylen Low will be the conductor of this orchestra, leading the Wildcats in a unique way. What do you think? Comment below.